Hi everyone! Today we're gonna learn a finger pattern on A string. So I want to go over some concepts before we get started. First of all, the concept of the half step and whole step. So remember which notes are half step? The answer is, you say it. I want you to say that. Okay, so ENF and BNC. EF and BC are half step and the rest of them are whole steps. So on A string, we can calculate the distance between the finger based on the concept of half step and whole step, and we can exercise dropping fingers on A string. So I'm gonna explain how we can get the finger pattern on A string.
So here's the note C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and we've talked about the half step and whole step. Half step 1 step, whole step 2 steps. And E, F, B, C are half step. Anything else is whole step. Now let's see the notes on A string. Next note will be B. A and B is whole step, so 2 steps. So B will be right here by dropping first finger on A string. Next note will be C. B, C is half step, so 1 step. And drop second finger to play C. Next note will be D. C, D is whole step, 2 steps. Then you can play D with third finger. Next note will be E. It's a whole step, 2 steps. And drop pinky to play E. So this is the finger pattern on A string. Now let's look at the notes in the music staff. Here's first line, second line, third line, fourth line, fifth line. So music staff has 5 lines. And first space, second space, third space, fourth space. We have 4 spaces in music staff. And then I'm drawing treble clef. And A, open string A, is on the second space of music staff. And open string is marked as number 0. Next note is on third line, which is B, and you can play with first finger on A string. Next note is on third space. Note C, you can play with second finger on A string. Next note is on fourth line. You can play D with third finger on A string. Next, fourth space is E. You can play with the pinky on A string. Or you can play open string E, and open string is marked as number 0.
Now let's try with our violin. So hold the violin and put your hand in the middle of the violin neck and elbow come to the front of your body. And on the A string, when you drop your first finger on A string, that's B, and then drop second finger right next to each other, that's C, because B and C is half step, 1 step.
To play D, drop third finger farther because C and D is whole step.
2 step. So 1, 2 step, bring farther, and then last pinky drop farther to play E.
because D and E is whole step. Now we're gonna exercise dropping fingers on A string, slightly off all 4 fingers off, and then each fingers drop 5 times to exercise and practice. B, 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 B. C, 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 C. D, 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 D. E, 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 E. Important thing is when you practice dropping fingers on strings, make sure your knuckles move clearly. Your wrist doesn't move. Your knuckles. Your wrist doesn't move. Keep nicely straight. If you feel struggling with your pinky when you practice dropping fingers, please check your elbow is located front of your body. So remember, hold the violin. Bring your elbow to the front. This way you can support your pinky. Okay, so we talk about finger pattern on A string. Next time we will talk about how to drop the fingers on G string with the pattern.